guys, my name is Tiffany and today I'm going to share my personal statement Common App essay that got me into every school that I applied to, including Stanford REA, where I'm currently studying. If you're currently working on your Common App essay, I hope this helps. I'm going to also break down what worked and also how I structured it. This essay is in response to the prompt, some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. So let's jump right into the essay, and I'm going to stop at certain parts to explain why I structured it in that way. It took basically the entire summer to write, including brainstorming different topics, also getting feedback from people, restructuring it in different ways. So I'm going to break down all of that at certain parts of the essay. 3 inches, no more, no less, my mom explained as I perched closer to the grainy image, examining the minute details of what is known as the golden lotus, the ritualistic binding of the feet that screams desirability and subjugation. I furrowed my eyebrows in internal dissonance and chose to look instead at the gorgeous, form-fitting silk dress my taima, great-great-grandma, was donning. Lined with floral embellishments, it boasts exquisiteness and delicacy. It is literally called a banner dress, qipao. That's what it means, my mom continued. That day proceeded with more pleasantries shared and rituals performed. But long after the incense burned, the thought of my taima's qipao lingered in my mind. Although I stood a foot away from the photo of my great-great-grandmother, it felt anything but that. I felt the immense pressure of bridging my realities and theirs. Okay, so I want to stop here because this opening was actually super intentional. When I wrote this essay, I wanted it to feel 3-dimensional, not just like I'm telling a story, but actually like you're going through different generations. I started with something really specific, which is the image of my great-great-grandmother's qipao, and then also the practice of flip binding. I knew I didn't want to start with just stating that I came from a Taiwanese American household, growing up with my grandparents, and this is my identity. I wanted to show, not tell, through something that is visual and emotional. This gave the reader something symbolic to hold on to. The qipao represents, culture, beauty, but also silence and control, and the tension became that metaphor that runs through the entire essay. Also, the last line, bridging my reality and theirs, sets up the entire theme. How do you honor where you come from while still becoming who you're meant to be? Now in this next part, I actually zoom into a specific moment where that weight showed up in real life, where I wore my own banner dress and someone actually questioned it. A year later, as I wore my own banner dress and played the zither, an instrument representing the beauty and deep roots of my Asian culture, one of my classmates asked, "Are you going to wear that embarrassing Oriental costume and play that weird instrument again?" Overwhelmed with a myriad of emotions from humiliation to anger, I did not have the power to stand up for myself, an empty and voiceless soul. For a while, I felt the binding and stagnancy, the same feeling I'd experienced sharing my opinions in English class, where I saw discussions as tests of my worth, that I had to prove to others I was good enough, precisely because deep down, I did not believe that I was. Thus, every time I opened my mouth, my desire to speak worked against my gut feeling of self-doubt, like pressing the gas pedal and brake at the same time. Did this lack of self-worth ignite as a result of my parental grandfather's preferential treatment towards males, where I constantly heard him proudly boasting about my cousin, the only male offspring of the Chang family? Would I never be good enough in his eyes? Was this what my taima felt before? The idiosyncrasy of wearing a banner dress, while bound in subordination and voicelessness. I also wanted to hint at how complex this silence was, right? It wasn't just internal, it also tied to things like family expectations, gender roles, and also cultural pride. This is the moment in my essay where I start to trace how generational pressure and also my own self-doubt intertwined, not really in a blaming way, but more questioning where that voice in my head actually came from. Since a lot of my essay is about my vulnerability, I realize it's not enough to just talk about your weak moments, but also show movement, the shift from being silenced to finding ways to speak up. So the rest of my essay will mainly focus on that shift. Often, I contemplate on what it means to raise my own banner as a third-generation Taiwanese American woman. The fine line between tradition versus conformity gets diluted with each stride of modernization. My maternal grandmother analogously showed me the modern society woman. As matriarch of the family, she raised 2 exceptional women, all of whom inspire me to find the willpower to persevere through any obstacle, especially my identity. My decision to transfer to an independent, forward-thinking school for girls had nothing to do with antagonism towards boys. It was because I yearned to be empowered and refreshed by the presence of strong women and principals, an environment that advocated self-confidence. I came to experience that silence means stagnation, and I wanted to move forward. Did that mean I had to excel in every area of my life to secure a voice loud enough to be heard? Conversely, I took the most inconspicuous path. I knitted. So this is my turning point paragraph. Up until now, I'd really been talking about, silence, pressure, also inherited expectations, but here I'm starting to reclaim that narrative. I wanted to show that finding your voice always doesn't have to look loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's as small as switching schools or picking a new hobby. In my case, it's knitting and turning it into something meaningful. I also love this metaphor of raising my own banner because it ties back to the qipao from the beginning, but now it's more about agency rather than tradition. That's a tip I would give to anyone writing, to tie your metaphor back in a new way. That's how you create a full circle kind of structure. Now we're going to move on to the last section of my essay. The more I amplified my passion for knitting, the more confident I became with the desire to educate others along the way. No more being quiet. No more waiting on the sidelines until something happened. I made a resolution to myself not only to embrace my culture, but also to actively seek out opportunities, empowering others and amplifying others' suppressed voices. From starting a nonprofit to creating campaigns through animation, participating in student body council, college-level research, internships, and discourses, steps the old me would otherwise shy away from. Am I standing fully accomplished and confident now? Absolutely not. But where I am now, I can proudly tell my taima that I am slowly unwrapping the bindings from my own golden lotus and learning to find my ground. This last section here is where I really wanted to show action and growth, not just that I started to think differently, but I started to also act differently. That's why I intentionally started to list things like starting a nonprofit, doing research, also speaking up, not really to flex, but to show that I was finally taking steps that the old me would have shied away from. That's how you show change. The final line here was my way of staying grounded. I didn't want to come off like, oh, I have it all figured out now, because I don't. I'm still in this process of learning, but I've just started to unwrap the bindings. That's what I wanted colleges to see, not perfection, but progression. The voice that I had been searching for was just finally starting to form. So that is my entire personal statement Common App essay. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this, is that your essay does not need to be dramatic or need to show off all your accomplishments and be super impressive. It just needs to be real and authentic and tell a unique story and capture the essence of you that no one else can tell at all. If this video helped you in any sort of way, whether it gave you inspiration, guidance, feel free to like, comment, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel because we will be releasing more videos. Also, subscribe to our other social medias. We're releasing videos on TikTok every single day, whether it be about college life, lifestyle, tips, also college applications. If you also have any questions about this whole college application process, feel free to email us. We hope to help others that are going through the scary process, because it is daunting and sometimes it's difficult to know where to even start, how to organize all the information. So we will be releasing more information on that. And that's it. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!